Hey there, welcome to the Not Just Mama podcast, the show where we talk about building businesses, chasing dreams, raising little yous, and keeping it real through all the chaos. We're diving into mindset, motivation, and all things mompreneur life, all while microwaving our coffee for the 20 millionth time. I'm your host, Heather Madsen, a dream-chasing mompreneur who knows exactly what it's like to juggle big ambitions with a million daily tasks. Because let's be honest, we're not just moms. We're wives, we're partners, we're daughters, friends, creators, dreamers, and so much more. And just because we're raising little tiny humans doesn't mean we have to put our dreams on the back burner. We deserve to chase them, build something incredible, and make a difference, all while being amazing moms. So go ahead and nuke that coffee once again and get comfy, because we're diving in. Have you ever had one of those moments where you just stop and wonder, am I really doing the right thing? Like, am I on the right path, or am I just going crazy and just spinning my wheels and just doing what I think I should be doing? Maybe you've walked down a path that once felt right to you, only to crash into a major roadblock. And then you're looking around for any possible way to just make that work for you. But there's so much resistance that you finally have to admit to yourself that maybe it's time to find another way. Or maybe it's time to face the path that's been quietly calling your name for such a long time. That was literally me earlier this year with my children and their education. For as long as I can remember, and I've thought about this even before I sent my children to school, I really felt that nudge to homeschool, okay? But I always brushed it off with things like, no way. I'd never be able to do that. I'd never be able to teach my kids. I'd be a fairly terrible teacher, right? So I just sent my kids to private school for years until everything kind of fell apart with that, and I had no other choice left but to homeschool, okay? Now, yes, I could have sent them to public school, honestly, but my values and my hopes for my kids just didn't align with that option, okay? So every parent has their choice. That was mine. So there I was, face to face with the very thing that I'd been resisting for so long, okay? And that was homeschooling. And you know what? It's funny how life works that way. The things that we tried to avoid sometimes ends up being exactly where we're meant to be, okay? And I feel like right now I am where I'm meant to be, that God just led me into this direction. And honestly, it's the same with business, even in life in general. We all hit these seasons where we just question if we're truly on the right path, though, right? And as moms, we feel that really deeply. We wonder what our purpose really is in the season of life that we're in. And the truth is, just from what I've encountered and experienced, it's not always easy to know. Sometimes what once felt right to you starts to feel heavy. And sometimes what feels scary is actually the thing that is calling you forward, okay? Kind of like my homeschooling journey. So today, I really want to talk to you about how to know if you are following your calling, you know, the path that's just truly meant for you, okay, your purpose, whatever, and how to tell the difference between the fear holding you back and the peace pulling you forward. So we all hit seasons of doubt, right? We start comparing ourselves to others, maybe like the highlight reels of somebody else's life and maybe somebody else's perfect homes, or the success stories that your close friends or people you may know are having. And then suddenly that makes our own paths feel kind of just small, right? Or insignificant and not good enough to you anymore. Or maybe you've been pushing in your business, right? Your online business, and you're doing all the things you're supposed to do to make that business work for you, but the results just aren't there. Okay, I've been there too. And you start wondering, maybe this isn't meant for me. But here's the thing. Feeling unsure doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing, honestly. It just means you're caring deeply enough about what you're doing. Sometimes the doubt shows up annoyingly right before the breakthrough, right? And sometimes the thing that you're questioning, right, is the thing growing you into who you're meant to become. So how can you tell if you're following your calling or not? Well, let me share with you a few signs that I've noticed in my own journey, okay? Number one, you feel peace even when it's hard. There's like a quiet inner knowing that says, this matters, and you may be tired from it, but you still feel that deep sense of purpose in what you're doing. And that's something I just feel like you can't ignore. Number two, you feel aligned. Your choices kind of just reflect your values, right? You're building something that feels like you and completely you alone, not what others say that you should do. Okay. It's easy to get caught up in other people's opinions, but alignment kind of always brings clarity. And honestly, we're just human, right? And so sometimes it is really easy to get caught up in what others tell you to do. But yeah, not necessarily always the right thing, right? Number three, doors start to open for you naturally, okay? Opportunities, ideas, or people show up right exactly when you need them. Like they are little confirmations that whisper, keep going, you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path, right? Maybe it's like with me with homeschooling, right? God just opens up the path for you and there's just no resistance, just guidance for every step of the way, okay? And you just have no choice but to accept it and take the step forward. It's just pretty much laid out for you. It's that easy. Number four, you're growing from it. Even when it's uncomfortable, you're stretching in ways that make you proud of who you're becoming. That's been me lately with being a homeschool mom now. I am constantly learning, I'm adapting to that feel of homeschool, right? And somehow I'm finding joy in that chaos most of the time. Number five, you can't stop thinking about it. That dream or idea just keeps nudging at you, like constantly. And no matter how much you try to silence it, it just keeps coming back, right? And your calling isn't loud or like in your face. You can't just see it right there, right? But it's silent, it's persistent, and it sits quietly and it waits for you to listen. But now, on the flip side of things, sometimes that heavy, like off feeling isn't doubt. It's just misalignment, okay? Maybe you're noticing that you feel constantly drained or resentful. I felt that before. Or maybe you're forcing things that just aren't flowing. It's just not coming as easily to you as other things might be. Maybe you've lost the joy or the passion that you once had for the thing that you're doing. Okay. I mean, there's seasons in all of our lives where it works for us for a while. And then all of a sudden it just feels like, okay, this is not working anymore. And that joy that we had for it just kind of dissipates, right? Or maybe you're feeling like you're doing things out of obligation instead of like the genuine excitement that you once felt, right? That doesn't always mean, though, that you're on the wrong path. It just might mean that it's time to pivot and to simplify and to realign yourself. And maybe it's time to just delegate or let go of something good so that you can make space for something even better than what you're doing. Does that make sense? And it doesn't mean that you're failing or that you're quitting or that you're just, pathetic. I mean, that's kind of the things that I would feel when I'm like, oh, this isn't working for me anymore. But then you have to kind of think to yourself, like, okay, is that what this really means? And then when you really think about it, you're just like, no, that's not what it means. It just means that it's not working for the season of life that I'm in right now. You're always constantly evolving and you're always realigning in life, right? Does that make sense? So, how do you get back to that sense of clarity and purpose again? Here are a few things that help me when I start to feel lost. Number one, take time to listen to yourself. Turn down the noise and all the things that are going on in your life, everything that is keeping you in the fast lane, pretty much. Okay. So that's the scrolling through social media. Maybe it's the opinions of others that they constantly give to you without you asking, and the pressure of doing everything we need to do in our daily lives. And we need to stop, take a pause, and just be still with ourselves for a moment. Maybe that means praying or journaling or just taking a quiet walk by yourself with no noise at all except for nature all around you. And then maybe you'll discover that sometimes the answer that you're searching for has just been waiting inside of you all along. Number two, Go back to your why. That's what I do when I'm lost. I mean, ask yourself what originally lit you up about this path that you're on? What made you say, like, yes, this is it? Reconnect to that spark. And if you realize that that spark isn't there anymore, that's okay too, honestly. And that might mean it's time for something new. Number 3, I want you to ask yourself, does my version of success still match what I want? Success looks different for everyone. Maybe for you, it's not about hitting a certain income. Maybe it's that peace and flexibility or just being fully present for your kids, okay? Whatever it is, make sure that it aligns with your vision, not someone else's. All right, and last one, number 4, allow yourself to release the guilt. You are allowed to change. Nobody says like, you have to do this. You cannot change, you're allowed to outgrow things that no longer fit in your life, and you're allowed to choose peace, even if it looks different from what others expect. So, really, I want you to remember this, okay? Your calling isn't something that you have to chase. It's something that you kind of just grow into naturally, okay? Every step you take, even the ones that feel very uncertain to you, are leading you somewhere meaningful, no matter how hard you try to resist it. So, if you've been second guessing yourself lately, just take a deep breath. You're doing better than you think. And really, if you think about it, like I just said, and I'm going to just say it in a different way, your purpose will find you whether you like it or not. Okay. And maybe, just maybe, you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. So I really hope this helped you today. And I want to thank you for hanging out with me. If this episode encouraged you, it would really mean the world to me if you could take a second to follow the show and leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other mompreneurs like you find the show. If you're not already on my email list, be sure to hop on it, okay? You'll find the link in the show notes below. And if all else fails, if nothing is going your way, just survive till bedtime, okay? I'll see you next week.